Crumbs. How's it going?
Going very well, Epoxy Crusader. How are you doing?
Fine. I was just getting ready all my stuff here. I put another camera so I can show you some other things from other view, and just messing with Zoom right now.
Nice. I see you've got quite the...
You have a great collection down in the back of the room. It's awesome.
Thanks, man. I was actually going to say the same about yourself. You've got quite the wicked collection behind you.
Oh, it's just a canteen I have in the hall of the house. Since I don't have shelves to put things, I start putting little things on the canteen of the hall.
I like that, man. Do you have a couple of those throughout the home, or?
No, it's just this one. I try to change the figures like monthly or every now and then, so I can see all the things I have. This time I have the pearls on the upper side and some Epoxy Crusaders figures here, and we can all stuff here around.
I love it, man. I love it. Now, of course, I'm going to ask, the Epoxy Crusader, is that kind of influenced by the Epoxy Crusader line?
Yeah, totally. The history about it is that when I started thinking about doing the resin figures and all these things, I was wondering what could be a catchy name for the page. I started first posting some custom figures on my own page on Instagram, but then I figured that I need a special page to do that, another profile. And at the beginning, it was going to be called Resin Evil.
Okay.
So, but when I Googled it and put it on Instagram, the name was already taken. So I started thinking about what could be like that catchy and that has this idea of toys or vintage culture and tunes and all. And suddenly I came across my old Toxic Crusader figures, and I thought, hey man, this is resin is also toxic. The epoxy clay is also toxic, so I think it was a cool name. And then I decided to call it Toxic Crusader.
I love it, man.
That's why I use the same typography of the logo and stuff.
Right, because you've actually got quite a bit of merch coming out right now too. Like I saw you've got the T-shirts and you've got hats clearly as well.
I made this one for myself and a couple of patches, but the T-shirt thing, I was talking with this guy on Instagram. His name is Dave. He's from Dimension X Toys, and I started to see that he started uploading designs for T-shirts and stuff. And one of my dream jobs is making T-shirts. Designs for T-shirts. It's like the dream. And he said to me, "Hey, you can do it. Just upload your designs to this page. I think it's T-Public, and you can start selling them there." And I was like, oh, okay, great, I'll do something. He asked me for the design of the Epoxy Crusader, so I uploaded it. But that went totally wrong. The T-Public guys just banned my page. They decided that I don't have the rights for anything I upload, which is very weird because if you scroll around the page, the whole site, you can see tons of T-shirts and stuff that has the characters from movies, cartoons, and any kind of stuff that has proper rights from other people, and they're still there. So I was very, very surprised that they decided to ban my page. So I have no longer the merit for the Epoxy Crusader. So
even the ones that were just your logo, that they wouldn't let those?
They shut down my whole page. First, I received a warning about the design for Royce Mando.
Yep.
You see the figure?
Yeah.
I then made a little design to accompany
the Waldo.
Yes, and they banned that design and warned me about it. And then I upload a design for a Frank Brain T-shirt.
Yep. And
they banned me again and give me a second warning. And there was no third warning, they just shut me down.
Dang it, man. Well, if anything, there's got to be other T-shirt places you can get your designs onto, man.
It's something I wish I do in the future. T-Public or the site in particular was fine because you only upload the design and they make the merch. You can choose from mugs and mouse pads and stickers and a lot of things. And they made it and sent it and shipped it to the customer. So it was a fair price and a fair trade with them. But I think in the future, maybe I start to produce my own merch, my own patches and t-shirts and just ship around the world.
I like it. Maybe get into the screen printing?
Yes, maybe, or I don't know what's called the sublime paint.
Okay, yeah. It's actually like a fabric.
Maybe, yeah. But it's something I need to think on the future. Recently, I'm kind of neurotic, so I need a lot of occupational therapy. So that's why I make customs and toys, and I build Lego and play games. So maybe in the future I start again with the t-shirt stuff.
And I mean, even with the toys, you've got a lot on the go, man. Like you've got the Mandalorian figure that I just noticed you were pulling that out of the mold today. And then,
the Mandalorian, yes.
Dang, and you've had so many that you're just.
I know you're waiting for this one, so this one is yours.
I don't think I'm the only one. I think a lot of people are waiting for that guy for sure.
You were the first one to ask me about it, so I was very excited. It's many guys maybe don't notice that, but it's very surprising for me, and I hope it's surprising for everyone, that you start with something and suddenly you start getting messages from around the world asking for the job and the figures, and it's very, very exciting. You were one of the first to ask me about the Mandalorian. For me, it was just a vague idea I saw, and I think it would be fun to make the figure. And having this kind of response of the guys on Instagram was awesome. It was really awesome. The problem is I planned it to be out on October, last year, October, but with the pandemic and all the stuff, I couldn't afford the materials to start doing mostly the resin and the silicone. And now, finally, I could get some of these expendable materials, and I decided to start right away with the figures, I promise. Mostly the Mandalorian and other things I've been doing. The Bart Simpson figure, that's one of the first things I wanted to do, because that's the figure that got me into resin craze.
And then currently, so out of curiosity, when you end up dropping like the works in progress ones, do you normally end up making a couple to plan for a drop, or do you normally make like the one and then just kind of feel out response?
Since I'm new to this whole thing, I'm not sure now, or really sure, how the claim drops work, how the claim posters work. So I've seen the lottery sales, the lottery drops, and all this kind of stuff, and I'm not really sure how this works yet. So that's why I decided to be better to just post the prototype or the final figure and see what happens, and then decide to do little batches of 10, 15 figures, maybe 5, depending on the size of the figure, and see who wants it. Like what I did with the Dimension X Muppet and the Mushroom Cringe figure, and just post it and see what happened there. I'm not really sure of the claim drop post yet, so I think I'll be doing that in the future.
Nice. Then if you don't mind my asking, because so far you've released like the Marios, and you've also had the Dimension X. Do you have the Muppet from Dimension X? Did you end up doing the Elmos? Did you end up dropping the Elmos?
Not yet. I just made a prototype.
Yep.
The maximum tickets Elmo, and I have a prototype for I don't know how to call it.
Oscar the Grouch.
I don't remember the name of the post. So maybe I do this once.
Right.
I wanted to start first with the Mandalorian because he's one of the figures that was left behind.
Right.
And I wanted to do the Bart Simpson. And also, I think I already showed this to you. The Mickey Pizza Cat.
Nice.
I really wanted to do this. This was my first idea for a resin figure. So I always wanted to do this, my first figure, but it was so heavy and requires a lot of resin. So I had to wait to make the mold and stuff. This is the first attempt of resin too. It has a lot of scratches and bubbles, but I wanted to keep it as a reminder that you could do whatever you can and whatever you like, putting bootlegs and figures. So maybe yes, I have good response on the maximum tickets figure, and sometimes on the things I post, I receive good likes and good comments. So maybe in the future I'll start doing all those the figures that I keep. The thing I made the most is the Mario Cringe figure.
Right.
And that's because it's a little figure, and I use the molds as a resin dumpster. So anytime I have little bits of resin, I just put it in this mold, and I end up having a lot of these guys lately.
That's awesome, man.
I made a Luigi one.
Nice. And now, did you have to like redo the head on that guy? Because that looks like a totally different head sculpt.
No, I just copied it from the original toy.
Okay. And then
I cast the head on this guy, and then added to the mix. The secret of these ones is that I made the head and the body on different molds.
Oh.
So I can pull either the body or the head, and then exchange the heads for Luigi or Mario.
That is so smart. I was just saying that was like a really smart idea to do it that way, to be able to swap them.
Oh, it was an experiment, because at first I wasn't really sure how to make the molds. I don't want to waste any material, so I decided to do a little experiment with the head only. That's because the other figure I really want to do is a Mario figure from the film. It's one of my favorite films and one of my favorite figures. So I ever wondered that they are not so famous and like nobody likes these figures, but I really like them. And I thought it would be great to have this type of figure with all the power-ups from Mario Bros, like the High Flower and the Frog and the Tomato stuff. And that's why I started with this figure too, experimented with the head to see what happens. then I do this custom. I just paint it the way I want the other video game.
Out of curiosity, like, would you say you probably enjoy the painting the most out of the whole process?
Not sure, really.
Not sure.
It's kind of well, for me it's a fun story. I always do custom toys. Like I thought that I should have this toy and there's no official one, so I made it. I custom some figures. But then I got into board games, and I started to paint the miniatures from the board games because, as I was saying, I need a lot of professional therapy. And that led me to buying a 3D printer because I wanted to make more figures for the board game. And then that got me into painting the figures. And then that got me into resin figures. And it's just like a whole change of recipes. So I don't really know what I enjoy the most. What I try to, in the case of the resin figures, I try to mold a lot of them, like 5 or 6 figures at a time. Then pour resin and cast the 6 figures, the whole batch, and paint them all, and then start again with another 6 figures and stuff. So I enjoy the process by these little steps.
Sure, you enjoy the entire start to finish.
Yes, and some parts mostly than others. I had a problem recently with some resin pour on my hand, and I had like this chemical burn from it. It was not nice. I thought it was part of the toxic crusader stuff. I thought like I ended up having a resin hand. You know? But sometimes I enjoy some of the process more than other parts of the process. What I enjoy most is like figuring out what I'm going to make and how it's going to look like in the picture or once you have it in your hand. The whole process, I think for me, it's very surprising the way you just pull out something from your head and you get to finally touch it and say, hey, I made this, and to make someone say, hey, that looks cool, I want one, or let me see it, or I want to show it around.
That's awesome, man. If you don't mind, I've got the parcel here that you sent. Do you mind if I kind of rip it?
Please, I was dying worried about it because I thought it would never arrive, and I was like checking on the tracking every day and calling to the postal office every day to see what happened. And I also called to the Canada Postal Service to know if they know about the tracking code, and oh man.
It's tough, right? Because with COVID and everything, of course, that ends up slowing down part of the process as well.
Yeah, surely. But you know what? Recently, I have a sticker swap with this guy Dave from Dimension X Toys.
Yeah.
And he sent me a pack of stickers, and I waited like 2 months for the envelope to arrive. And when it arrives, it was empty. Somebody at the custom office or the postal office, or I don't know, someone just stole those stickers. That's like unbelievable. Who the hell? In the fucking world, these stickers, you know? And that stopped me from sleeping like a whole week, just thinking about the package. Like, oh my god, what if they broke it or steal the stuff inside, or where is it? So I was really worried about you getting that package as well. That's who I am. I want to be good and cool with people. I really enjoy talking with new guys and folks, and so I couldn't let you down with that.
Well, I've been noticing that actually you've been really stretching out the last little bit. I've been noticing you in VHS Rex and a couple of other guys. You're popping up on their pages as well. So it's nice to see that you're really getting into the community.
Yes, that's been pretty awesome too. It's always the same for me. I see something and I just send a message like, hey, awesome job, or can I participate? Can we do a collaborative work or like something like that? And most of the guys always answer like, yes, go on, take it, do it, you made it. And it's been very fun. This guy is his name is Carl, if I remember, the guy from VHS Rex. He was like very surprised that I asked him for a thing that he made 2 years ago, and it was almost forgotten. And he said, "Totally, man. You like it? Do it, man. It's awesome. Send it to me. Anything."
That's wicked, man. Was that by chance the Bart that you did recently, the tropical Bart?
Yes, it's a tropical Bart. Yeah. I'm setting up to send this to the guy.
Yeah.
This one's going to London, I think. If I remember, it's going to London, so it's a big trip.
I think it's going to the UK for somewhere in the UK.
Yes. This guy told me that he is in love with pucks, so I fetched him a couple of Mexican Simpson pucks, and he was absolutely blown up with this idea.
Oh, that's too cool, man.
I think he'll enjoy these ones.
I'm sure he will. Absolutely. Do you find?
As you say, I've been having like good conversations with all the guys in the Instagram and most of the community. This guy from Dimension Toys asked me to. He messaged me once and asked me how I do my molds and how I spot E2D and which software I use. And then he asked me if he can send me some files to see what we can do about it. He's in this idea of making the whole line of TNT Ninja Turtles figures, like giant figures.
Okay.
And send me a scan he did with his cell phone, a prank scan. And I started spotting it, and then we became friends, and the whole collaborative process began, and then we did something else, and that got us to do the network prototype, custom arms and accessories. So it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun doing all these things, knowing all these people.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably part of the party. Well, for me, it's probably the most fun is meeting all the people and learning how to do things.
Yes, also when we learn about their process and meeting people from around the world. It's even though we live in a world now that you can connect with people from all countries and all parts of the world, that sounds like really easy, but it's kind of surprising if you think it twice, because you are like more used to talk with people in their own language or in their own country, and getting to know people from far away. For me, it's awesome. It's not like I never traveled to other countries and stuff, but it's different. It's different when you're a tourist. And when you make some connection with some other guys, some other folks, it's a common interest.
It's more of like a camaraderie.
Yes, that's it. That's absolutely awesome.
I love it, man. All right, I'm gonna quickly peel into here.
Please, man. I hope this is correct.
Sorry.
Awesome.
Do you mind explaining these guys, man?
The bootleg He-Man again. I said those are the He-Man bootleg figures from Master of the Universe. They were in Mexico like since forever, but now with the uprising hype about Master of the Universe, they became like very popular. And I remember once we chat, you saw one of mine in Argentina, so I thought it would be perfect to send you a couple. Those are bootleg as hell.
Man, that's really cool.
Also, I like those because if you see the tag, it doesn't say Master of the Universe, it just says Heroes of Lucha Libre or something like that.
Yeah, Heroes de la Lucha Libre.
Heroes from wrestling.
And what's funny too is like even the figures on the header have nothing to do with Master.
Yes, absolutely. and as you can see, the arms and the whole pieces are made like from different types of plastic, so the colors are quite strange too.
Yeah,
and they painted like with cheap paint, and they look awesome. I love it as well.
Yeah, man, if anything, it's really cool now that like once you have a little bit of an understanding of bootleg figures, it's really cool to see like an authentic vintage bootleg and see like the resin pour. Like for instance, like he's got a bit of the light blue in the breast there.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's really cool. Now, out of curiosity, like, is this something that you find difficult to find where you are? Or like normally, like, would this be like at a vintage store? Like, I'm not sure like how popular these would be or common they'd be. Well,
now it's very popular. With the whole hype about Master of the Universe and the toy collecting and the bootleg world and like that, it's now, I think it's around the world. They become very popular. But it's not that fun not that hard to find those. You can still find for a couple of bucks.
That's really funny, man. I don't know. Not funny, but I guess like interesting. It's interesting to see like they even have the split torso that I would imagine has like a peg.
Yes, it has a peg because it's supposedly articulated, so you can rotate the waist and the arms. The only thing that's steady is the head and the legs.
And see, what I also find really cool too is that like a lot of times in the bootleg world, sometimes you see some flashing on the figure, and it's interesting to me to still see some of the flashing on Skeletor's hands. I don't know.
Yes. If you pay attention, even the hands on Skeletor are not Skeletor hands, are human hands. They're just generic arms that they put in the figures.
That's what they had.
Yes, also the legs, you can see the feet.
Yep.
Not the Skeletor ones.
He-Man boots. He-Man groin. Wow. So, yeah, that's interesting. They basically have like the body and the head, or... Yeah, that's really neat, man. Thank you.
You should open it, It's not that vintage. I don't think it's going to lose its value.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't... You should... Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. You can always staple again the tag. So
Well, now you've got me curious because I'm gonna pull them out now. Right. I'm gonna slide up the whole cardboard. They smell like
market plastic.
yeah, like the blown plastic.
Yes.
Dude,
They're made like an injection plastic, I think, but they have that particular smell of bootleg.
it's cool how you, like again you can see where like the vents would have gone to like the arms. Like the little that is too funny, man. And even the fact that there's like a little bit of white in the legs, insane.
Yes.
And personally, like it's interesting for me because when you see the bootleg sometimes too, like some of those paint ups, it's comical because it's like that's still seen today. Like that's still very common, the paint ups.
There's this cheap paint and doesn't go.
That's way too cool, man.
I love those figures. Are one of my favorites.
I like that. That's a joke. Out of curiosity, do you normally rip these apart and put them on your tubes as well?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's hard to decide. And would they all be this color? Like, would they all be this blue with the gold, blue-white limbs?
No. It depends on the plastic they had on hand. Sometimes you get whole black ones, and sometimes you get some like translucent ones, and skin color type, and you name it.
So it is very, very, very much like the current bootleg scene.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's too comical. Sorry, man. Then, right. Okay, so I do see this. I'm not going to go too much in it because I want to get it.
Take your time, man. Those that little rubber there.
Dude, like, so for somebody like me, this is really, really cool because like you guys see like the mapped out vents probably all the time when you make your figures, but like I don't really see the vent maps or the tree.
I thought it would be nice for you to see the feel with the riders and the things that they use to blow the plastic. Also, it's a cool figure. Right? I think I have one somewhere here around that's been already do that. But it's like a little Gundam train or boat. I don't really remember.
And yeah, it's like a little train, like a train. Dude, what the heck? Sorry. I've studied art history, so I'm really amazed in how the object is as an object. You know, besides being a toy or being a figure, the thing as an object, it's pretty cool to look at. So when you see a toy, or in this case, something that it's going to be a toy with the right side, if you put that on a frame and just display it like that, it will look awesome. I agree.
Again, if you build it and you put the actual robot there, it also will look awesome. It's amazing how the object has all possibilities and all this magic around it. You know, from like a collectible thing, like a toy thing, or just something to stare at. It's wonderful.
Man, I really like the way that you've explained that. That's a really, really, really cool way to put that, even. Because I agree. Like, I don't think I'd be able to build this. I think this is something I'd probably have to put in a little frame for sure.
It's pretty easy to build that, but if you frame it, it looks awesome.
I'm actually almost pretty interested to draw it. That's really interesting to me.
Yes.
That's really cool. Sorry, man. And then
I'm thinking where I left it.
Now, you were showing us these guys earlier, Mario.
Finally, there we go.
Dude, you did a killer paint up. I'm going to show off your stickers because you got wicked stickers as well.
Thank you, man. I'm glad you like it.
I love that, man.
Mario.
But like, okay, so your paint up is out of this world on that little guy.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And that's really cool to me.
I wanted to keep it as bootleg as possible.
So, out of curiosity, like how would you make a mold that's hollow out from the bottom there? Like, do you have a little pet? Like, do you do kind of like the Rainbow Yawn head thing?
Oh no! I need to tell this secret out. The body is from a toy called Pinipon, and the Pinipons originally are hollow. So when I poured the silicone on the mold, it just came hollow. That's it.
Dang.
I didn't make anything to make it hollow. It just happened.
It just happened that way. And then, sorry, man, I'm gonna pull up the blue one here too, the purpley blue one, because you actually color coded these guys specific based on which Marios they were as well, correct?
Yes. Some on the video games franchise, also on the film franchise and film franchise. And the purple one is my favorite because I wanted to make one that looked like dog, you know, this modern cringe aesthetic. That's why I made it purple.
Personally, whenever I see the purple, I always think of like when you get a gold star and all of a sudden your guy is flashing through the scene.
Yeah, right. It was also kind of the intention. I really enjoy doing those ones. Once a guy sent me a message or commented on my post, I don't remember. As you can see in the base of the feet, you can see like a little bulge between the feet.
Right.
And a guy asked me if that bulge was, if it was Mario Ballsack. And I said, no, it's supposed to be his clothes that are now bigger, but maybe it could be his ballsack because for consuming all these mushrooms and having this mushroom cringe, now he has this problem with his body. I don't know, man. And he said to me, man, that's mean. That's mean. How can you say that someone eat a mushroom and then his ballsack grow bigger?
That's just how Mario operates. Man,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I gotta point out because you've even done like a black wash or like detailing on the hair. Like there's like
Yes.
did you just black wash that? Like what did you do that?
On the original figure, the hair is it's brown.
Right.
Also, the mustache is brown. And I always wondered how in the Mario figures, his hair is brown, but the mustache is black. So I started painting both ways, black and then brown. And suddenly I just went up on that and started forgetting which one was with which color. and end up having both colors. So I first primed the whole figure black and then add the whole other colors on that black base. And that's how we get that like black wash.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to make sure to get a really good picture of it into the video because it's hard to get with the lighting, but you can just see like
also because the coat it's very glassy, so it's brighter.
Yeah, but dude, like again, I can't stress enough. Like you did a really, really good job on the paint ups on these. I was like,
thank you. And I'm glad you like it. Like you were my first Mario customer. So.
Oh man, I think these are really, really, really cool. And like you've even got the flesh tone down really well. They're freaking hilarious, man. Yeah, I think you did a really good job on them. And actually, I'm not to just like dig right into it, but also the Dimension X Evil Muppet man. Okay, sorry.
That's it. That's the first figure. That's my baby.
This is your baby. Dude, so for one, what I love is I'm a sucker for Playmobil. And I think you're about the only person I've seen that uses a Playmobil core. I love that. You went all out on this, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
I got inspiration from a guy that's called Humbly. They posted a picture about a Muppet Ninja Turtle, and it has Kermit. And when I saw that, it just blew my mind. I thought, man, this is awesome. I need to do that figure. But then again, I thought I need to twist that figure. I need to make an homage to him, but then I have to print my own idea. So I thought, what's the opposite from a Ninja Turtle? It has to be a Slash. It has to be the turtle from the Dimension X. And that's why I decided to make that to look like a Slash Kermit Ninja Turtle.
Like, there's a lot going on here. So if you don't mind my asking, like, are these, what did you do for the wrist? I don't even know what they're called. I'm sorry.
The knuckles?
The purple knuckles. Yeah.
They are printed. If you pay attention, they are printed.
So you had to print all these, and then
Yes. And then adding a hand to hand to all the figures. That's because the knuckles, if you see, they are spiky, and that's a very difficult thing to get into resin because of the bubbles and the real size of the things. And I made a lot of trials and experiments to get that on resin, and in the end I decided that, man, I can print it. I just can print the thing and put it on the figure. And also I think most of the current bootleg scene is based on 3D printing and 3D modeling and 3D sculpting. So that's my way to saying like the whole homage to all this resin 3D printing stuff. It's like, I think it's the best of both worlds, resin. Also, it's faster and easier to do than making trial and errors that I do on resin.
And out of
curiosity, resin printers you should do so, but I don't own a resin printer, so I made it with PLA plastic.
I'm sorry, man. I'm feeling him, and I'm getting all the different textures. What's the shell made out of, if you don't mind my asking? Sorry, because it feels totally different than everything else.
The whole thing, it's resin.
Even the back shell?
In the back, yes.
Oh, okay.
It's resin. Well, I had, well, not me, my mom. When I was young, she was into this porcelain doll manufacturing thing.
Okay.
And she ended up buying tons and tons and tons of some paint called rust nail style or something like that, and that make that grainy texture on things. And once, like, searching around my mom's house, I found all these gallons of that paint, and I was like, I need to do something with this someday. And then the day came. And if you remember the Slash Turtle, the original of the Slash Turtle, has this grainy skin, like with a lot of texture.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, this is the moment. This paint is going to be used for here, and that's how you get this grainy figure and this grainy texture on this figure, because it's painted with that rusty stuff.
Yeah, because even
when you put the other colors, you get that strange texture of the shell and the skin.
even the like the blue, you managed to get really textured with all the little bumps.
Yes, that's because of that grain paint.
That's it, eh?
Yes.
Man, and then sorry, because like this is driving me to, like, this is wild. Did you glue this like a little piece of fabric for the?
Yes. That's also because it was pretty difficult to get that on resin.
Yeah. I love it. Dude, you
so
did
I ended up thinking that fabric would be a nice touch. Also because of the texture, like I was saying about the objects and stuff, it's good to feel the texture of the object. You know? So you get all these feelings about the weight of the resin, the texture of the paint, the plastic of the printed thing, the knuckles, and then the cloth just adds this sort of like color texture to it. Like,
Dude, you did a really cool job on these, and even like again, like your paint ups are insane, like all the little individual teeth.
Thank you.
And then, sorry, did you have to sculpt like the eyes, and did you originally sculpt those for the original figures you took a mold from?
Yes, this is the original one. This is a Playmobil as well. It's articulated. This is the prototype. And first, I 3D sculpted the head with all the feet and the regular eyes, because the original Slash figure has those, like one big eye and the other is a little small. And then I printed and fit it into this Playmobil, as well as the shell, both parts of the shell, and then I painted. I always try to do prototypes first, because that's the way I can like visualize the final figure and the final paint job. Like here on the battle cap there.
Yep.
Like sometimes you draw it and choose the colors, and it looks good in 2 dimensions. But once it's 3-dimensional, sometimes the colors don't fit as well or look strange. That's why I always make prototypes first.
Well, that way you don't have 10 figures that you're trying to fix the same problem on too.
Yes.
Makes sense. And if you don't mind my asking too, because I'm just curious, like how do you do like the bottoms and feet? Do you pour did you pour in from the bottoms, or because like, it feels like you have like a little layer of like sealant? And I'm just curious. Sorry.
If you give me a second again,
Yeah.
I could touch the original mold and look into it. Here's the mold for it. This was one of my first molds, so it came out terribly wrong because I didn't pour enough of Vaseline or something to prevent from gluing together the 2 parts. So I ended up like just breaking. But as we can see, these are the holes for the resin core.
Okay.
These ones are for the feet. And the upper one is for the back shell.
There. So you didn't even put gates into them. You just left the feet as like your actual gate.
Yes, at that moment I didn't know much about the pouring process. So I made a mold and just put the figure standing in the base of the mold. That's why it ended up being like the entry.
Yeah.
Now I put some other things in later, but for this one, we have just got the feet interested. I had to add these other holes here for the hands. The resin wasn't pouring that well in all directions, so I had to add these holes later on the process.
Dang. And then you'd actually have to like pour down into the hand portions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that allows you to pour resin evenly to the hands and the shell and the feet and the whole body.
Oh man, that's a lot going on there. And then of course,
Now, as I was saying, now I add more riders and parts to the resin for even. This is the Magdalena one.
Right. Yep.
You can see on the feet. Now it has extra holes, so it pours evenly. So the resin pours evenly in all the parts. And the arms also have these little riders, so the resin pours equally in the edge. I didn't know that at my first video. That was something I learned from practice and by seeing other guys on Instagram.
Right. And then, of course, you don't just make toys. You've actually got, well, there's a dinosaur in here as well.
That dinosaur is a Dino Riders. It's the figure with sticker made for toy convention here in Mexico. We had this like swap.
Okay.
And, some things for exchange. That one is plastic, so it's not mine. I just buy the dinosaurs and make the sticker.
Nice. Oh, you made the sticker as well, sorry?
Yes, that sticker's mine. The design is not mine, but I made the sticker for this one.
Nice. And then, sorry, you did this as well. Dude.
A friend and I made this comic. It's called Bootlegs. You can look that on Instagram too. We have a page. It's like a nonsense bully comic we made to a friend of ours.
Oh, and sorry, just I'm seeing there's inserts. So for instance,
I have to do a couple of more things. That's aside from being an art historian, I'm kind of a visual artist. And some years ago, I made these sculptures. I call it pop bunnies. They're made from cassette tape.
I've seen those actually on your page, man. It's been a little bit.
It was one of my first posts. I made that poster for an exhibition of those bunnies. And I thought it would be good to send you one of those postcards.
Thank you very, 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 very much. And then like you've got like almost like these epoxy crusader, almost like coloring sheets.
Yes, I was thinking to. I think it would be nice to have some, as I was saying, some other things like some more textures that accompany the figures. And also because I love drawing and making designs, I decided it would be fun to make some coloring pages and coloring sheets. I'm trying to have one of those for every figure I make.
That would be super cool, man. And then like as people get them, they can collect them all as well. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, maybe in the future when I like make 20 or 15 figures, I can make like a whole coloring book to books. So
I like the sounds of that. I mean, I'm sorry. This is insane. I'm just going through and like looking at some of the artwork for starts. This is gorgeous, man. Like
that magazine, it's made from an editorial called Piratas, Pirates editorial, and they put together works from many artists, different artists. Sometimes they do this horror theme magazine. Sometimes they do read theme magazine. The other magazine they make, it's called the Mata Comics, like read comics. They also have a lot of stuff. That's the one we made. The Redeems.
From this page here?
Yes, there it is. Borre, the main character, it's based on one of my friends. So another friend of mine always do these stories about him doing stupid stuff and having a lot of stupid problems. I usually do the colors for those comics. This one is black and white because of the print, but usually I color those.
Dude, that's really, really, really cool, man. That you guys have some work in like a commercial magazine.
It's kind of indie magazine, so you have to knock doors to sell them, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I get on that, man. Out of curiosity, like, how long have you been? Like, was this was your first time ever kind of participating in this, or have you been doing this for a while? The inking.
The comic itself, it has a while, like a couple of years, but I think this is the second time they printed the magazine. The second of it.
That must feel pretty rewarding, I'm sure.
Well, kind of. You know, it's. I think it's all the same process. No? Like you have this dream about being a superstar, pop superstar, and then you have the band. Then you feel like you need to be a comic superstar to illustrate it. And then you have to do something to achieve that. And then you want to. So for many years, I wanted to do all these things, And finally, I have the opportunity to make a little bit or a little piece of that dream. So sometimes it's fair enough just to know that you made the attempt to achieve something as big as little as you consider it. So it's pretty rewarding. But it's also I don't how to say this. I don't feel angst about it anymore.
Right.
I know I'm able to do so in some time in the future or to achieve something. So now I just have fun trying to do it and enjoying it when things happen. That's my main reward from this.
Right. I think even sometimes just the act of getting it done is probably the most rewarding feeling in general. Seeing that you could.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes I was talking with some guys, some younger guys, like a couple of weeks ago. They were asking me about my toys, the toys I collect, the things I buy.
Right.
And they were like, "Oh man, I hope one day I have the money to do, and I wish I had this, I wish I had that." And I was like, man, it took me like 20 years to have the money to finally buy the thing that I wanted for my child. So don't worry, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So when we start this thing about the comics, this friend of mine, his name is Ferros. You can also Instagram, look for him Instagram. He draw and make comics since we were in high school.
Okay.
He always dreamed about getting his comic on some magazine, and so it took us 20 years to do so. So it's gonna happen. Some point in time it's going to happen like this. You need to have fun doing it, because if you kept worrying about it, you're gonna miss it.
Yeah, no, exactly. You're gonna be so worked up that you're not even gonna enjoy the whole process.
Yeah. Once it happens, you're gonna feel that it's not the thing you wanted. And man, if you think it twice is the thing you always wanted, so be happy about it.
Yeah, I like that. That's a really good way of looking at that, man. Absolutely. If you don't mind, I'm gonna put you in the hot seat real quick. I'm gonna grill you some questions.
Oh.
I mean, even though I've been kind of grilling you with questions the whole time.
I know, it's okay.
So I think,
enjoying
well, I'm enjoying talking to you as well, man. Thank you. And I do appreciate you giving me your time this evening too, man. That means a lot, really. Sorry. Out of curiosity, what would probably be like the longest time that you spent creating at one time? Your longest work session?
8 hours.
Yeah.
8 or 10 hours. It wasn't my first mold for my first attempt of the Maniki Pizza attempt, because I was worried that everything got perfect. So I put a lot of effort in the mold, the clay, and then preparing all the stuff in the workshop, like getting on hand the silicone and the catalyst and the whole thing you can do.
Right.
And I was doing everything with so much care and pretty slow, thinking that it might go wrong if I just put the silicone faster or slower, or, so that took me like forever. Also, my wife came over and said to me, what are you doing? You're doing it for hours. What's the thing that's stopping you from doing the thing? Just do it. Just pull the damn silicone on and finish with it. And I was like, no, because that difficult if it goes wrong. So it took me that 8-10 hours. It was forever.
Crazy.
From then, after that, now I do everything like as I've done, as if I have been doing it forever. I don't organize the workshop anymore. I just have everything like around and do it. But that one time it took me forever. It was absolutely crazy. And the other time I spent a lot of time working, was in doing those cassette bonds I showed you. That's imitation from the postcard.
Yeah.
Because all the cassette is knitted, like when you knit a sweater, it's made with needles.
Right.
As if it's wool. So knitting the cassette was a pretty long process. It took me a couple of days to finish the whole form of the bonds.
My goodness. And then would you consider, do you consider your toys art?
Good question. Because I consider them as art, as an anti-art.
Fair. The anti-art, I'm curious of. Would you mind elaborating on that?
So I was saying on the object, as for the little robot piece I sent you, nowadays, with all these art conceptions about concepts and philosophy and theoretically talking about art, you can consider art almost everything and anything. Yep. It just depends on the view you put or pour into the object. So yes, in some instance, art of art toys or art figures or bootleg figures to be considered as art because it's an manifestation and expression of someone's ideology, context, expectations, etc. But on the other hand, there are so handcrafted made objects that you consider that anti-art because it just represents something to you alone and from your heart and expectations alone, not for everyone. So every time you make a toy, you are manifesting yourself alone, not as an artist or as an individual. And that could not be considered art in some manner of people. I think it's both simultaneously, art and anti-art. Because once again, if you let's say this, you frame that little robot, no?
Yep.
Then it's art.
Right.
But what if you just rip apart again the robot and build it and build it as a toy? Then it's not art, it's a toy. So simultaneously it's both.
Yeah, I guess I would think of a toy as a form of art, but I do also see where I like what you're saying as well.
Also, if you look at the scope of Scott Hensey and the guys who made the Ninja Turtles,
yep,
the singular object as a sculpture, it's absolutely art. It's fantastic. They put a lot of detail and effort on it.
Yes.
So what happened when you just rip out that essence of art to make that thing a toy? It's no longer made of clay. It's now plastic, and kids play with them, and they mess with them, and they lost them, and many things happen to toys aside from being originally a sculpture or art sculpture. So I think that's why it's simultaneously art and no art, because you can stare at it or you can just build it, and you can do a lot of things with figures and toys and objects. I think it's one of those conceptions that also have gift themes. I have read here one of his works, the Hulk one.
Yep.
That thing resembles a balloon. So it's art because it's the tones, but it's not art because it's something popular. It's a broken Hulk. So how Hulk is going to be art? So I think it's both.
Both.
Am I explaining this well? Because I can't remember.
I think you explained it really well, man. Personally, who would be your biggest inspiration?
But also Scott Hensey, man, those Ninja Turtles thoughts are magnificent.
That's where it's going. What would be your favorite tool in the workshop?
My favorite tool in the workshop? What's the word in English? Toothpicks.
Oh, yeah. Like a skewer stick or a toothpick?
Not toothpick, plain regular toothpicks.
Okay.
I have this motor tool at the Emmer and other stuff in the workshop, but I always end up doing the details with toothpicks. Every time, like I'm painting, oh no, it's looking toothpick. Oh no, it's a bubble toothpick. So that's my favorite.
Do you yourself have a favorite toy that you own? Or figure, sorry.
I consider myself, although I'm not a nerd, I consider myself a Ninja Turtles cultist. I love Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
First time I saw Ninja Turtles, just in my mind, my whole life just took over and turned to the other thing once I saw Ninja Turtles. So I think that's my favorite toy from the time. Which one? It should be the walkabout figure, the one that's on the roof.
I don't think so. The walkabout figure.
It's a kangaroo from the Ninja Turtles storyline. And I love that figure. I was talking about this with from Dimension X yesterday. When I was a child, here in Mexico, of course there was Ninja Turtles toys, but the shops weren't so sure which ones were the Ninja Turtles. So they put on sale all types of figures and all types of characters from the Ninja Turtles. So sometimes when you go to the store, you see the 4 turtles, but other times you see the whole villains. And villains that no one knows because they haven't appeared on the cartoon. And my parents, that doesn't know a thing about Ninja Turtles, one time they brought to buy me a toy, and they were like, "Oh, he said Ninja Turtles, okay, take it." But they never noticed which character it was, and it was that kangaroo walkabout. That's the name, walkabout. And like for 3 months or so, I was the only kid that played with that figure, and all my friends swear that wasn't from the Ninja Turtles storyline. And they always say like, "Hey, man, that's not a turtle, that's a fucking kangaroo." I was like, "Oh, this is a villain or something from Ninja Turtles." Ninja Turtles. No, that's not Ninja Turtles. And that was very, very sad at the beginning because no one wanted to play with me because I don't have Ninja Turtles. But then I was the only kid with that figure, the only kid with that figure.
Right.
And it was mine alone.
Yeah.
Only I have that figure, and it was awesome. Also, the sculpt of the figure, it's formidable, and I love that figure.
It becomes extra special.
Yeah, it's extra special. Yeah. And now, if you Google it, it becomes one of the rare figures.
Always the way, isn't that way? And then what would be like the dream collaboration? If you could work with any other artist ever, what would be like the dream collab?
I'm not sure. Since I've been in a lot of cases, when I had my lockdown, I wish working a concept for the Mystics or Rob Zombie or Red Zombie or things. Then when I figure as a visual artist, I wish to meet Jeff Koons and do something like pretty crazy like all of this. Then when I got my concepts, I wish I knew the McFarlane from Spain. And now that I'm in the toys, I think I wish I could work with Scott Kingston from one of the studios or something like that. But since all this could or not happen, I think I'm glad just to make collaborations with the people I've been knowing online.
Yeah.
It's been very satisfactory to talk with guys on Instagram and then do little collaborations, know more people. So I think I prefer that now. Just to keep on the scene, knowing people doing some contributions, exchanges with other artists. I think that's my thing now. It's something that I really think I appreciate.
Nice. And what would you say is your least favorite part of the entire process, of the toy creating process?
The lesson part.
Yeah? What about it?
I don't own a pressure pot, so
Right.
I have to pour it like by hand and wait until the resin cures. And that thing sometimes is boring. Also, as I was saying, I have this problem with the chemical brand, so that wasn't very nice. I think that's the thing I don't like it most. Or my least favorite, because we have to wait a lot of time. Once a guy messaged me, and I don't know if he said it like as a bad thing or as a deeper recommendation, but he was talking about me getting a pressure pot. And I was like, first of all, I don't know where to buy one. Second of all, I don't have the space to have one. And I kind of appreciate now the handcraft process of looking at the resin as it pours and waiting to cool and cure. And it's become like a thing. I think it's what made. I think that's the difference between industrial things and handcrafted things. Because the more mechanics and technology you put into it, the more less human they become. So
I can respect that.
It's like a relationship of love and hate with the rest of the program. It's very, very boring sometimes. Sometimes I do very rushing because I need to fill a lot of molds. And sometimes at the beginning, I use only a cloth mask, but then the fumes and the papers were very toxic. And then I was like upgrading my gear from the respirator, and now I have a full mask. So that's also kind of fun, like in video games, like when you achieve an unlock gear, it's fun.
Oh, and then last one, what would be the favorite character of yours that you've made so far? You've got a couple prototypes on the shelf. You've got Mushroom Cringe and the Muppets from Dimension X so far, the Hermit. Or
from my characters or characters as well?
From your characters.
My favorite has to be the Maneki Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
I really spend a lot of time thinking in this one and how it would look. And the whole thing about me getting into this scene of resin dolls was because of this guy. This guy and the boxing I told you about.
Right.
Because it was like the Blinky Bar. I really wanted to make myself like a Blinky Bar, and that was the only way I could ever achieve them. So these two figures are the ones I started this thing. Then again, I was thinking about doing someday a shown-off figure, Phantom Killer figure, the figures from the films you like and don't have toys or rare characters from cartoons and stuff. But I always have person that I need to do this figure. The Manic Pizza Cat and the Binky Bar. That's the starting point of my face, of my mouth face, of person coordination.
Oh, wonderful. Well, that's all the questions I end up having for you. Was there anything you kind of want to tell us about it all, though, or releases you've got coming we might have discussed at all?
Well, not exactly. I just hope I do some more works. I'm working now on something into something I will call a Start High Mario. It's made from this figure. This is a vintage McDonald's Mario Bros figure. It came with a Happy Meal in the 90s or the 80s. And I cast he has a little star in the hands.
Yeah.
It's like floating in a cloud with a little star. So I think to combine those into a new figure. So I cast the body and I'm going to put a Mario film head on it and call it Start High or Start Low or something like that. You're the second person to do this one. I'm going to give away this ninja bot that has this multiple combat modes.
Dude, that's insane.
It's a celebration for the movie. It has the skull head and finish him right shirt. And also have this spear, 3D printed spear. There's some one of the characters of Mortal Kombat. Well, you already seen my list for figures. I hope to being able to make all those by the end of the year. I have this Hover 1 figure coming up. It's another one, but it's a Hover. It's going to have a R2D2 made of trash can. I think its motto will be have any force to spare or I'll be the force for fuel or something like it. Now, I also want to make a full Ninja Turtle figure and a full Mario Bros. Film figure with the features I told you.
Right.
And I don't know, sometimes I get this list of the things I want to do, but I end up adding a lot.
Right.
Because things I saw or someone told me about something. But I had this figure, so I don't remember the artist. The thing is, it's made of split beats or something. I bought this at Art Toy Bootleg in Chicago because I'm a huge Nintendo fan too. But I wanted to do a version of it that had a Sega cartridge on it instead of the Nintendo cartridge. Because I'm a huge Sega boy. One of my favorite characters from all time is Sonic. So I really love Sega. And I think it would be nice to look at this idea with a Sega cartridge.
Especially if you found a Sonic one, you gave him the little Sonic shoes and the little white.
That would be nice. Also on Instagram, I saw a guy who posted a Sonic figure, big Sonic figure, that has the follow head as if it's a robot, and with a little Sonic in the middle, like controlling him. And I was like, oh, I got to do that one. I got to do one for myself. And also, I'm into Nintendo right now, to use cartridge as well, because my brother's birthday is coming up, and he's a huge fan of the Simpsons. So I'm starting making this retro cartridge from the Johnson game that appears in the Simpsons episode. And then this friend, Dave from Dimension Space, he had these awesome visual designs with pixels from Ninja Turtles games. And I thought it would be nice to make also a series of retro cartridge or boxes with different motives from different artists or different figures, not necessarily video games. So that's one thing I've been thinking about lately too.
And you got tons of ideas in the works for sure.
Not any thanks for that. For me, it's just like mostly rambles in my head because I have one time to do all these things and to be able to do these things. Most of the things I need to do it outside, so I don't have all the time I want to do, or that's my job, or that's the things I have to do as a husband. But I hope one day I will achieve this. You know what really helps me now? It's Instagram. Because you need to keep the posts flowing and you need to keep the hype like at some level. And sometimes I just have tons of things to post, but then again, once I posted all those, I'm like blank. So I'm trying to figure what to do next to keep the hype up and to keep having followers and stuff.
Right, yeah, because if you want to get like engagement still and have people come on your page. Or...
Yes. But now I'm thinking I should not worry about it. Just have fun with it and let it flow and see what happens. And that's why I took also, if you recall at the beginning, I was like posting like 3-5 times a day. I was like very active on Instagram. But then I had these little problems here at home that gives me that and that. And then I had this problem with the materials. I think both resin and silicone, so I had to step back a little, and I was really worried about that. And now I feel like everything is just flowing through. So I'm giving a little space to go, something to do, more fun stories, more fun stuff. I was very, very, very worried that we never got the cartridge, so I was like wanting to throw the cover away. But now this got me like new energy. So it took a while, but we finally got there. So like the stuff, so everything I'm doing good.
That sounds good. Excellent. Well, I'm not going to take up much more of your evening here. I really appreciate you coming in and for, like, I mean, all the insane cool stuff, man. Like, this is way too kind of you, with, you know, and the mushroom cringe, and yeah, no, you did a killer job on this guy too. Sorry.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. On contrary, thank you for all the support and for paying attention to my work, for your time, for your teamwork. You're an excellent guy. You're always like fetching for my thoughts. So thank you very, very much. I really owe you an apology for all the time it took.
It's not.
I'm pretty happy that you are glad you did.
Oh,
please do the coloring pages. I would love to see you color the sheets. So then, thank you very much. I was pretty excited with this. I had my wife and my dad to really look around something like the market just to give me like a time to sit here and talk to you. It's been awesome.
Well, it's been very, very nice talking to you, man. I'm sorry if I cut into your night there to get the stuff from the market there. But I do appreciate you coming in and giving me all this time, man, and all the insight as well, because you've got a lot of insight, and I really appreciate it, for sure.
Thank you, man. I hope I explained myself right and to answer the questions in a good manner. Thank you very, very much. I really consider you a friend.
Likewise.
That's a very community business. So thank you.
Oh, likewise. Thank you so much. And try to have a great rest of your afternoon.
You too. Have a great day, a great week, a great weekend. And cheers, and I strongly possible.